Hello fellow space birds and welcome back to a new episode of Starbirds. Today we are going to collect the 4 achievements in Sector 6. In Sector 6 we have to reach a score of 85, as always without upgrading any building. And the special achievement is hard melting, where we need to melt all the ice covered a asteroid. Alright, let's dive in. Apparently it is way colder over here and there's no source of water. That means we have to find some alternative recipes for the resources. Let's see what the captain wants from us. He wants insulation mesh covers. That will give us the victory, and for that we need a new factory, the stuff factory. We need feather and thread. Okay, so for the feather we have a new building, a habitat, which will produce us feathers. And the second one was the thread. For that we need conductor and feather. Okay, so we need a lot of feather, and as we found out last time, the conductor is also quite a lengthy production chain in order to produce some threads. Well, I think we go to this asteroid first and try to figure out the habitat thing. So we need 10 research points for the habitat. And what else do we need? Glass and ceramic. Alright, these will be our first tasks. Alright, let's discover some asteroids. So, in the meantime, I hooked up some resources, sending it to the station. Unlocked some modules and did some quests to get some currency. I also unlocked all the asteroids over here. Looks like this one is an empty one where we can use as a building hub. And all other ones, they do have some resources. Looks like we have gold on this one. This is a new resource we haven't found yet. Could continue with methane and then also titanium. Let's do those two quickly. Alright, this asteroid is also entirely covered with resources. That means we cannot build any production buildings on here. I'm here for methane. Let's grab some. Alright, we have a melter that we can research in order to get rid of the ice. So what do we need for the melter? We need carbon and acid. That means we cannot get gold at the moment. So we could do the habitat first. Well, let's do the melter first. It looks easier. On the other hand, we do have lots of craters on this asteroid. And it's covered as well. Okay, so that's not very helpful. Then we will send methane over to this asteroid. We do have a few craters left. Place a landing pad. Get methane over here. Let's combine some methane and sulfur. And send it to the space station. For carbon, we need methane and oxygen. We do have both resources on this asteroid. Our carbon production line is up and running. I built 2 of them for now. And the research is complete for the melter. Let's see the melter in action. Okay, so let's melt away the stuff on this asteroid. Let's see how it works. I just place it like that, and that's all. Okay. Okay, but when I delete it, then the ice comes back. So I need to keep them there. So they're just costs credits. No other resources. Then I try to get the first achievement for today, where we need to melt all the ice on one asteroid. Okay, apparently this asteroid was not fully covered with ice. So we can see a tiny little sliver is left in order to complete this achievement. That means we need to find another asteroid. But on the plus side, we cannot lose resources because we can just delete a melter and then the ice comes back. Let's try this asteroid, but this one has also on this side a gap. So let's see if that works better than the other one. All right, let's see if that is enough. Yes, it is. Hard melting. All right, we cleared out successfully the entire ice on this asteroid, and also it stopped our production. But we can reverse that by just removing those melting thingies again. So we get back our ice. And there's no point to have this many melters anyway. We can now get the gold. For that we need to melt some ice over here. I try to place the melter just outside of the resource node, that we can place the extractors. Let's continue with researching the habitat. For that we need glass and ceramic, and I saw that we cannot craft any quartz. So we don't have the resources for quartz, and for glass we need to combine ceramic and aluminum. So it's a little longer process than usual. Okay, so let's focus on ceramic first. We need carbon and aluminum. We are producing carbon over here. Let's see. Yep, we could use... Let's see, how many do we have? 3. We could send aluminum over here and produce ceramic here, or we could send the carbon to a asteroid with triangles. Here's one. This one is tiny. We do have space over here. And where do we have triangles? On that side. So we could build a landing pad here. Let's get the carbon from here to there. So carbon is coming in on this landing pad. And we need a crucible. So we can build one over here. Now we can build more crucibles. We do have 6 strange points. Where is the triangle? Over there. Let's grab some, place it in here. Grab this one, then we need power as well. We can produce power. Let's produce it over here. Place a couple of extractors on the uranium, that gives us 4 power. Squeeze one more in, 6, that's enough energy for 2 crucibles. And let's send the ceramic out over here. Okay, so I built a second crucible over here, which produces also ceramic, and this one as well. This one goes directly into the space station. The second crucible goes into this lab and produces with additional triangles glass. So we do have now researched the habitat. Alright, now we can build habitat. It costs 150. And it looks like we have to place it in craters as well. In small craters. We can create 5, but we can also find asteroids with natural crater holes. And I also noticed that we can research the stuff factory. Let's do that. For the stuff factory we need feathers and plastic. Okay, so we can get feathers from the habitat. But for that we need first to find a suitable place to build them. Maybe over here on this empty. There's one. Well, you know what? Let's place one down and let's see how it works. Okay, the habitat needs power. And unfortunately we don't have uranium on this asteroid. Let's hope we get some sun over here. But it's not much, but it should be enough for at least this one habitat. So we do have methane and oxygen. Let's place down a chem lab or 2. Let's place a launch pad over here. Grab some oxygen and methane, send it over. Let's do the same over here. Plug that in. So for plastic, actually we can produce directly hydrocarbon over here. Since we have one launch pad left, we can expand our production maybe over here. Let's build another chem lab. Hook you guys up this one. And then we need more methane in another chem lab. Like that. And that gives us hydrocarbon, and hydrocarbon can be crafted directly into plastic. So we should have plastic here. Perfect. We definitely need to optimize those production lines, but we can do that later when we try to get. How many stars do we need? 85, so yeah, that's going to take a while. All right, stuff factory is completed, and we should be able to craft our insulation mesh. But first we need to produce threads. For threads we need more feather, and we do have glass and plastic, so we should be fine. Where we can bring in gold and plastic as well as feather. Alright, let's set up the production line over here, and we do have also some more holes to bring uranium over here that we can produce energy as well. First we will do this one. We need gold and plastic in a component lab. Alright, so we are bringing uranium in, producing power over here, and with plastic and gold we are producing now these conductors. And we need feather and conductors, and that will give us thread. Okay. That over here. So our grid has now 16. Let's bring it over here. Now we need to deliver the feathers over here. Where are the feathers? Here. Actually, you know what? We are good on power, and I saw that we have a small crater over here. Let's build a habitat. So we are still good on power. We are getting feathers. What am I trying to do? Oh, no, that's wrong. We need a component lab. All right, that should give us a thread. Okay, that looks good. Now we need to combine threads in a stuff factory with feathers. Okay, we need more feathers. Let's see. That means we need more feathers, more power. Let's build another landing pad over here. Grab some more uranium. Okay, so we get more uranium. Let's plug that in. Bring that to our grid. And we should have now plenty of energy. 24. So we need more feathers. Let's place another habitat. Connect that. That produces feathers, and we need feathers and thread in a stuff factory. Let's place the stuff factory over here. Bring the feathers in, power, and bring the threads around here. And that should be the quest. Alright, main quest is done. Complete Sector 6. Alright, we do have still 2 achievements to go. We need 85 stars. Our light alloy production is up and running. I only placed 1 production line at the moment, but we got our module. And let's continue with the next one. We can do this one. For the next module, we need to send hydrocarbon to the space station. I think we can easily produce that over here. We're producing over here plastic, which has hydrocarbon. So we can copy this production line over to the other side, which is carbon combined with methane. Let's place it over here, maybe. Launchpad. Add a mushroom. Then we need 2 chem labs, 2 methane extractors, 1 oxygen. Combine those and that. That should give us hydrocarbon, hydrocarbon thingy. Hydrocarbon. Okay. We got our hydrocarbon. Did we use our plastic for... I think we are using the plastic for our mitten thing. So we need to build a new plastic line. Oh, we are getting plastic delivered. So where do we produce plastic? Also over here. Then we need to build another production line. The same one as this, but with another refiner. Let's place it over here and use the same launchpad. Let's place it like this. Then we need a chem lab, another chem lab, a refiner, 2 methane extractor and 1 oxygen. And that should give us plastic, right? Yes. Okay. On to the next module. Fertilizer. That is new. Sulfur combined with hydrocarbon. Strong alloy and conductor. I think I don't want to build another conductor production line because that is involves way too many steps. I just quickly use the one we have over here. Let's get rid of you. And let's place a launch pad for now. Come on. And let's plug you in here. We'll see if we have to build another conductor production line. Actually, it is pretty simple since we deliver those resources over here separately. Let's try this one. Let's place a component lab. Do we have enough power in our grid? Yep, still enough power. Plug you in, and you. And that should give us conductors, right? And that will give us also, hopefully, 3 stars. Next, let's build some strong alloy. Strong alloy was titanium iron. That looks easier than using carbon and iron. We do have somewhere titanium. Looks like only over here, and I think it's just a tiny little bit. Ah, it's covered. Okay. Oh, we do have actually quite a bit under the ice. Let's place a melter over here. Let's get rid of you. Put you over here. Okay. And iron, where do we have iron? On this unused asteroid. So we could send it over here. Let's do that. Create a landing pad. Need a crucible. Then we need power as well. Let's go with 2. Hook that up. Then we need iron. There's one over here. Grab some iron, place that in here, and hook that up. That should give us alloy, strong alloy, but we need to send titanium over here. So the next one, let's focus on fertilizer for the next module. Fertilizer was sulfur and hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbon is produced over here. We could do it over here because then we have all the resources. But let's see if we have space. We do have a couple more launch pads. Oh, let's do it over here. Then. So for hydrocarbon, we need 2 chem labs. Let's place them over here. It's a little bit too close. Then we need methane and oxygen. Place that in. Well, actually, place that in here. And that in here. This one goes in here. Then place that in here. Let's see. It looks like that 1 production line is enough for 3 stars. Maybe. Still growing. Yeah, it looks good. So we got 3 stars from fertilizer. Perfect. Then the next one is easy. We already produced those resources. Let's speed that up. Done. The next would be, let's do the threads. But for that, I will also temporarily change the production over here. And it looks like we are not getting enough plastic anymore since I split that off here. So we need to send more plastic. But for now, just try to, well, let's send the threads. And let's figure out where the plastic is getting produced. We don't see that here. We are producing plastic over here, and that gets sent over here, it looks like. Yeah. So, and this is our launch pad, I think. So we need to squeeze in a second production line. Let's see, we need 2 chem labs. 1, 2. We need some oxygen from over here. Pipe that through here. Some methane. And some more, and here. And that should give us twice as much plastic. Alright, looks good. In the meantime, we completed the threads. And that brings us to our final quest. Circuit boards. Okay, but first let's go back to our production chain over here and produce this insulation thing. We do get enough gold. Yes, we do. Okay, that looks good. So we need circuit boards. Circuit boards is acid and silicon. Where can we produce that? Where is our acid production? It's over here. Where do we have silicon? Over there. We could produce some more acid over here. Let's do that. Let's place another launch pad. Add a couple chem labs. Or we can also, oh well, let's produce over here, since this one is not that crowded. Let's place a landing pad over here. We need a, oh, we need power. And the component lab needs 3 power. Can we place some more solar panels? We cannot squeeze in 3 more. No. Oh, maybe 1, 2, 3. Ah, perfect. Our grid has now 7 and we are using 4, so that means we have 3 left. With 3 left we can build a component lab. Add this one and acid. Connect the power and plug that in. So we need to send acid over here. And it's done. Okay, we got all 23 modules. And now we need, how much do we need? 85, 14 stars. As always, let's do our cheeky ash trick. Let's see, do we have a asteroid? Let's grab this one over here. We don't use it at the moment. Let's grab 4 extractors. Place 4 of those. And send the ash to our station. So that's 3 stars. Then we can do the same with 2 chem labs. Let's build another launch pad. Maybe over here. Place a couple chem labs. We are sending 3 star scoop. That's perfect. And then let's do the scrap metal. But for that we need power. I could, let's see, can we place solar panels? Yes, over here, but only a couple. That's not ideal. I could send some uranium over here, but I can also go to a asteroid with uranium on it. Then we don't have to fly stuff around. Let's see if we have some space left over here. We do have a crater. So then let's produce some scrap metal. For scrap we need a lab. Let's add those two. Plug that in. Alright, we are getting 3 stars from scrap metal. That leaves us with 3 stars remaining. We can send some more uranium. That's easy. We can send some more uranium from this asteroid. We do have plenty of launch pads left. Lots of resources. That should give us 1 more star. Then we could do the same with oxygen. If we have a launch pad left, we do have one here. Let's send some oxygen. Let's see if that is enough. That might bring us all the way up to 84, 85 stars. We're getting close, we're getting close. And it might be just enough. Perfect! We got 2 achievements, high score and high score without upgrading any building. That is a perfect run in under 2 hours. As always, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you do so, I would really appreciate if you could like this video. It looks like that we have only 1 sector remaining, the sector 7, with 3 more achievements for us to unlock. Then it looks like the developers are busy adding more stuff, so there will be a sector 8 coming soon. And we also see over here that there will be most likely another solar system to explore. We will definitely play those once they're released. We wrap this episode up here, and if you like my videos, I would really appreciate if you could hit that like button, subscribe and leave a comment. That would really help this channel out. Thanks for watching and see you in the next episode. Thanks and bye bye.